Welcome back to Football Daily and Transfer Talk, where we have another roundup of all the latest gossip and rumours concerning the Premier League's biggest clubs. Remember, the most liked comment will feature on this weekend's Sunday Vibes, so leave your comments below. Let's get started. We kick off this week's rundown in the blue half of Manchester, where, fresh from beating title contenders Chelsea this weekend, Pep Guardiola is continuing to work on improving his squad. Supposedly, the man in his sights is none other than RB Leipzig's Christopher Nkunku, who of course scored a hat-trick against the Sky Blues in the first round of Champions League fixtures in a 6-3 defeat. According to Team Talk, Pep was very impressed with the 23-year-old Frenchman's attitude and quality, as he scored 2 headers and tucked away a close-range finish in a thrilling encounter at the Etihad. The winger, who's capable of playing on either flank or centrally, backed that up with a further 2 goals and an assist in De Rotenbullen's 6-0 thrashing of Hertha at the weekend, taking his tally for the season to 6 goals, just 1 fewer than he managed in 40 appearances last term. Currently playing his 3rd season of football in East Germany, the former French under-21 international would no doubt jump at the chance to join an elite club and work under the peerless Guardiola, even if it was only for a season. Especially given the fact he only ever made 28 Ligue 1 starts for his former club PSG amidst competition from Di Maria, Neymar, Mbappe and Draxler. Whilst Nkunku is clearly a player hitting his stride with world-class potential, we can't help but feel that this is just another bit of paper talk, written by journalists who spot an opportunity to link a player who has scored a hat-trick against Manchester City. And the arrival of Jack Grealish this summer surely means that City will prioritise a centre-forward, left-back or central midfielder in that order next summer, meaning that Nkunku, with a contract running until 2024 and a market value of just under £40 million, will likely have to wait for another opportunity. We head to Barcelona now, where the club continues to be linked with a move for Juventus' Matthias De Ligt. They missed out on signing him in 2019, with his agent Mino Raiola claiming the Blaugrana took a cavalier attitude towards the centre-back, believing he would simply follow De Jong to the Camp Nou. The super agent went as far to say the youngster was treated like cheese, before continuing, the reason they wanted him were wrong. Do you think Piqué was going to leave room for De Ligt to grow and develop? But 2 years down the line, and the Catalans still view De Ligt as their dream centre-back acquisition. But as we all know, money is tight at the Camp Nou, so in order to get around this, Gazzetta dello Sport claim they're going to propose a swap deal. The names in the frame though are absolutely baffling, with Gazzetta claiming Barcelona are prepared to offer both Ter Stegen and Memphis Depay to land the former Ajax star. This simply makes no sense at all. Although Ter Stegen's performances have dipped in recent seasons, at his peak the 29-year-old is one of the best goalkeepers in the world, having saved over 10 expected goals across 2017-18 and 2018-19. As for Depay, well, he's been one of the few shining lights in an underwhelming campaign for Barca so far, netting 3 goals and 1 assist in 6 La Liga games to date. Even Josep Bartomeu, the architect of Barcelona's current malaise, wouldn't swap their best forward and a very competent goalkeeper to land a centre-back, even one as talented as De Ligt. What makes this deal even more unlikely is the fact that Chelsea are also showing considerable interest in De Ligt, as we reported on ERU last week, with AS even claiming that the Blues are willing to fork out a club record £102 million to land the Dutchman. Whilst Tuchel is already well stocked with centre-halves, with Thiago now 37 and Rudiger reportedly stalling over a new contract, they'll likely target a defensive addition next summer. Barcelona fans though, if you can't manage to land De Ligt, which centre-back would you love to sign in 2022? Let us know in the comments. Over to the blue half of Merseyside now, where Everton fans are in dreamland following an excellent start to the season that sees them sit 5th, just 1 point behind leaders Liverpool. But things could be about to get even better for them, with Madrid newspaper Defensa Central claiming Rafa Benitez is keen to raid his former club Real Madrid to land 2 superstars this January. Whilst Carlo Ancelotti has helped reinvigorate the careers of Vinicius Jr. and drawn out promising performances from Marco Asensio, 2 players that remain very much on the sidelines are Isco and Luka Jovic, who have only played a combined 198 minutes of La Liga action to date. According to the article, the move for Isco would likely be a loan move for the final 6 months of his contract, with the Toffees unlikely to want to sign the 29-year-old permanently given the fact he's paid a reported £120,000 per week. A previous favourite of Ancelotti during his first spell in Madrid, their 38-cap Spaniard has been given 2 starts this season against Levante and Real Betis, but has only been given 20 minutes of action since the start of September. With no Everton player currently creating more than 1.8 chances per 90, and with James Rodriguez off to Qatar, signing a player of Isco's quality even on a short-term deal isn't the worst idea. The case of Jovic is a little more confusing. Signed for €60 million in 2019, he's gone on to score 2 goals in 36 appearances and has never gelled with his Los Blancos teammates. With Calvert-Lewin on the books and Richarlison capable of covering, we don't feel that Everton need to sign Jovic even on loan in January. Toffees fans, do you agree though? Do you need another backup striker, and would you take Isco? You know what to do. Next up, we head to North London, where another forward is struggling to exert much influence on the 2021-22 campaign. After 4 seasons of regular football at the Emirates, Alexandre Lacazette has fallen out of favour this term, only being given a brief 31-minute cameo in Arsenal's 5-0 thrashing at the hands of Man City. With his deal set to expire next summer, the Gunners are resigned to losing Lacazette either for free or for a small fee in January, with Barcelona and Atletico Madrid having shown interest in the past. But it's another Spanish club that Arsenal are keen to offload him to, believing he could be used as a makeweight in a deal to sign Sevilla's En-Nesyri, who has exploded into life since the start of 2021, scoring 27 goals in his last 59 games for the club. The 24-year-old Moroccan has a contract in Andalusia until 2025. And Julian Lopetegui would therefore look to bring in at least £40 million for the former Leganés man. This will likely be too much for Arsenal, so Estadio Deportivo claim Arteta could look to include Lacazette in any deal in January in order to drive down the price. However, with the Frenchman able to sign a pre-contract with any club as soon as the window opens, it remains to be seen how much of a deduction his inclusion would bring, let alone whether Los Nervionenses would really want to swap an emerging star who scored 6 Champions League goals last season for a player who'll turn 31 next May. This one seems fraught with difficulty, but it's at least promising to see that with Aubameyang 32 and Nketiah and Lacazette out of contracts, Arsenal have correctly identified a centre-forward as their next priority. Gooners fans, if you can't land En-Nesyri though, who else would you go for? We want to hear from you. And to wrap up this week's episode, we bring you the news that Manchester United's midfield priorities have changed again. As we've covered on a number of our shows and has been covered by pundits nearly every time Red Devils play, they are short of a quality defensive midfielder. For months, most people have believed that West Ham's Declan Rice was their preferred target to fix their issue. But reports this week claim they've now switched their attention to another Premier League star. With Manchester United's hierarchy concerned that the Hammers will be reluctant to drop their £90 million valuation, the Daily Star claims that Solskjaer has now set his eyes on Leeds Kalvin Phillips. The 25-year-old academy graduate has been a vital component in Leeds' success in recent years, with his star performances during the 2021 campaign seeing him earn a place in the England squad for Euro 2020, where he excelled. His performances for the Three Lions saw him recently named as England's Player of the Year. He's got everything you'd look for too in a defensive midfielder. He couples 3.4 tackles and interceptions with an incredible 28 pressures per 90. In fact, only Everton's Zalan has completed more successful pressures in the Premier League at the time of writing. He's far from just a stopper though, having completed 85% of his passes this season, including 3.6 long balls per game, more than his goalkeeper Illan Meslier. The only issue to this potential transfer is the vicious rivalry between Leeds and Manchester United, although the Reds do have a history of plundering the Whites for their best players, with Cantona, Ferdinand and Alan Smith 3 examples of players to have crossed the Pennines in relatively recent times. If Phillips can take the heat, we think this would be an excellent signing for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's men. With a contract running until 2024, if he could be signed for anything between £50 and £65 million, he would be a wonderful addition. Agree or disagree? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. So that's it for another week of Transfer Talk. Can you see any of these stories actually happening? Can you see Kalvin Phillips joining Manchester United from Leeds? Either way, make sure you're liked and subscribed to the channel with notifications switched on, and we'll see you next time.